Oh boy. And with that being said and done, I think we're live, and this time D&D. Ah, shit. It's
Oh mein Gott.
oh my god.
Und my good. Ah. Is that what I want?
Oh, I need to go restart my capsaicin extraction. I will be right back.
Alrighty.
Okay.
Boy. Oh boy, session 9, everybody, session 9. Imagine that. So. Well, shit. Welcome to session 9, I guess. You're somewhere doing something.
Yep. Oh, yeah, I should
Yeah.
grab the chips.
You got. Decide what you want to do at the moment. Talk between each other. Make acquaintances again. I'll be right back in a second. The session has not started yet, so don't do stuff.
I'm going spicy.
I'm not awake enough to carry a conversation.
Hat light is back on. Let's do this shit.
I set alarms for this campaign.
I did too. Mine went off 22 minutes ago to wake me up.
An hour.
I wake
ago
up
for
before
me.
the alarm, so like an hour before the alarm. So Yep.
I always end up waking up like 2 minutes before my alarm goes off, which is really fucking convenient. I don't know how my brain does it.
Yeah, for me it's the same.
Like, yeah, it's not that I wake up like 15, 5, more than that minutes. I wake up like within a minute or two of my alarm consistently.
actually, now that I think about it, today I didn't even wake up before my alarm. The thing is, my phone was dead, so it was shut down completely. And I woke up. It was I saw it daily. I was like, "Fuck, am I late? My phone didn't ring. Why? My phone was unplugged. It wasn't on the charger."
My girlfriend knocked my phone down last night. I ended up waking her up, having to fish mine out, get it before the alarm went off.
Wow.
I was yelled at.
Dang. That sucks.
Yeah, I found it kind of cute.
Angry women. Men. Aww. I know it's not true, but sometime.
I bet she'll be up probably about the end of this game. Ground penetrating scanner. I've only been waiting on this for fucking ever. It's like the game went out of its way to be like, you're not getting there. Fuck you.
The best part about these weapons that I made is that I can actually just remove the background. And with the background gone, it's just a PNG.
Did you get my message?
Yes. That might be a tough order.
Yeah. Just give you the list there to give you an idea of things to rattle around in the old brain hole. It's not going to be too awful long. I'm going to ask you if you want to do a small redesign of the current Plucky. Basically, just add a helmet and change his eye color because that's changed apparently.
Fixing Plucky? I think I could.
He needs a helmet that resembles a mammoth?
Okay,
something elephant-esque in some way.
I'm pretty sure a single tusk, is bigger than
No.
30 Plucky.
So that the the headpiece of the Mammoth Lord is basically like, imagine a Viking helmet, but instead
A
of
walking helmet?
no, a Viking helmet, the
Oh.
thing, but no, not like that. Instead of metals, it's literally just a bunch of tiny mammoth tusks stringed around together. Just
So there you
imagine,
go.
yeah, just imagine a bowl of tusks.
A ball?
A bowl,
A bull?
Bowl made out of tusks, and then just
essentially.
clap it on his head.
Essentially.
Okay, so a single tusk should be enough for that because Plucky is fucking small.
These are magic tusks, and magic items can resize themselves to fit their user.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Yes.
I hate that you're right.
10th dimensional thinking over here. Wow.
Uh-huh. Plucky McGucky.
Also, I've been loving all the theory craft regarding Plucky and Quirk. Y'all just keep doing your thing because it's great.
Just tell Ken and Sleaze that, because or I'm not part of that.
It's been fun to
fun.
watch.
One of them's blonde.
So there's a
Yeah.
thing called disguise self.
Oh my god.
I mean, it's already been proven that Quirk bleaches his, well, not bleaches, but dyes his hair, quote unquote. Or at least
Yeah,
had
he
to
already
until
used-
this de-aging thing happened.
I didn't see anything with Quirk. Oh well.
Okay. So, so Grizzy is busy with doing real life stuff, and she's not
Grizzy's
gonna be
busy.
showing for this and the next session. Stop. So, I got a question for all of you. The same question I ask every single week of you. You ready? You ready?
I'm
Yeah.
I think I'm
In
awake
theory.
enough.
Awaken up.
In theory.
Okay.
Anime eyes.
So, oh god. So, last we left off, you were still making your way towards the Trugmore Mines. With not much of a hassle except for Griselda seeing a bunch of trolls and wanting to fight them, because that's what Griselda does. Challenge the biggest brute around, with a very unsatisfying conclusion that Griselda just two-shot at the thing. And then I got a challenge from the Golden Mouse, which it two-shot at Griselda. Leaving Griselda torn and humiliated. The way I like it. But besides that, eventually you found yourselves in a bit of predicament, because you did find the crossroads and you did find a settlement in that, and eventually you figured out that this is Farreach, one of the furthest outposts from the city. You chilled for an hour, some rested, some just passed time until you figure out what to do. And as you were basically leaving for the mines with additional orders from the garrison master, from Fort Master, to deliver this note to the foreman, about 10 minutes after literally leaving the fort, you spotted 6 giants and 4 trolls just marching towards the fort. And you made it back, you warned them, and the garrison forces made an initiative on their attack by ambushing them. And eventually, the giants slowly but surely made their way through the forest by just basically trampling it, and one of them using Griselda as the battering ram for the trample, made their way almost to the walls, except that, well, they died essentially. And yeah, with that being said and done, a few moments had passed as Griselda was chewing down on one of the corpses as a T-Rex. Half of the people are still blinded by Quirk's thing. But all of a sudden, cheers of celebration erupt as you successfully fended off 6 giants trying to basically ram your shit up. So with that being said and done, slowly but surely everybody's vision starts to go back. Now it's like the having like like staring at the sun for too long, and eventually slowly but surely your vision bit by bit, piece by piece comes back as everybody just like celebrating. And yeah, what would you like to do?
Okay, shit. All right. Whoa. Like holding
Quick.
his hand in front of his
Alright.
face, wiping, like waiting for his vision to come back. He's like waving his hand in front of his face. What the shit? What did that do? What the hell?
What
Oh, the
did what
giant
do?
shit. What? That's a hole?
I'm grabbing Quirk just from behind. Oh, careful.
I'm
Um,
yeah, I'm up on the walls.
Yeah, but I got unblinded myself. Quirk, do you know what happened? I just saw a big flash and everything went dark.
Let's just say that I learned myself a lesson there, and yeah, not doing that again.
Let's keep quiet that you did it.
I mean, it's kind of hard to hide. You know, I was chanting. There was things going on. Like,
We can play it off.
Are the both of you all right?
Are you all right?
Yeah, it stings a bit in my eyes, but I'm fine.
confused mostly.
Yeah, you look
Um,
over at the battlefield, you see 2 corpses that have been just shot down, 2 corpses that have been mauled by the T-Rex, and you see by where T-Rex was now, Griselda is vomiting out bits and pieces of troll. And to the left side of the field, you just see a 30 feet deep crater with no signs of the 2 remaining giants. The ones that Quirk targeted them with his spells.
Yeah, that was dumb. That was really dumb. That's what I get for trying to show off. Note to all of you: don't bravado, not a good thing.
Fair enough. Well, guess we should grab Griselda and start our leave again. Oh boy. Oh, but before that, I'm gonna fly down to give Ira Quirk in hand. I gotta collect some skulls. And I'm gonna go to the battlefield to collect some skulls.
So, the only 2 heads that are intact are the ones that got like shot upon the people. Like, not the T-Rex affected, neither the like. Only 2 out of 6 actually have reasonable skulls that look still intact. Maybe cracked, but intact.
Cracked but intact. I like that. Yeah, I'm gonna be cutting those bad boys off as soon as I open my sheet. So keep going with the others.
So as you do that, the forward commander just basically orders around people and tells to contact the scouting parties to return and just do a surrounding sweep of an area. Um, yeah. Besides that, people are basically making sure that everybody's alive and just basically counting if anybody's injured, but nobody got hit except for Griselda. Almost everybody got blind for a moment. Besides that, nothing else. But yeah. So, anybody else would like to do something with the battlefield?
Quirk's
You
gonna
guys
go
are
get
already
some-
looting.
Yeah. And there are no. Were there any soldiers who got hurt or died?
No, none of them. Everybody was behind walls and they didn't reach the walls even. A lot of people were blinded, but almost everybody at this point, being only a few minutes, have recovered their full vision.
Then Ira's going to stay back at the top of the wall.
So, yeah. But yeah. So roll me a performance check.
Who?
You free.
Fair enough.
Just remember.
Performance is my middle name.
Just remember, no amazing bonuses because you don't have the two.
The what?
Yes, remember it's not cooking that you're doing because that's what you basically did all the time. So, just saying.
I know. I never got bonuses that's free. It was always just performance.
Whatever. So roll.
19.
Oh boy. Yeah. Takes a good 10 minutes, but you didn't get the head the skull, but you got the heads easy enough. As for the head is kind of massive. It's literally larger. It's something you could just literally just put on the ground and sit on it as a makeshift boulder. It's a large thing. So yeah, that 20 minutes would pass you basically taking care of those heads. But besides that, everything is calm, everything is nice, and you basically see just the horizon where the path the giants were, and you realize that maybe 150, 200 feet away from the walls, you see just a bunch of scorch marks on the grass, and you see bits and pieces that you assume are trolls.
Oh, that's fun. I'm looking at the troll pieces. Do they look like they won't regenerate?
Well, they looked at it that they've been fucking licked and scorched by flames.
Well, that won't be a problem. Let's see. Now, where should I play in the Where Did Griselda Go, or
She is not happy about anything that happened today. From getting her shit kicked in to basically vomiting out troll. Not too great. Not too.
I'm gonna go over
Troll or
and pat her,
giant?
I'm gonna go over and pat her on the back and then fly back to the group. Like there, it's okay. So, Quirk, Ira, I think we're pretty much done here. Don't you
Fair
think?
enough.
Is Hodart nearby?
Yeah.
Hodart, are you ready?
Yeah, good for another. I'm good for another hours if so. I'm turned back into my form.
Fair enough. Grab Griselda and we're off.
Yeah.
All right.
I grab Quirk again.
So,
There you go.
with that being said and done, I'd like you to roll me a d10.
I want to do it this time.
Do it.
Not gonna ask Quirk to do it because we're gonna get another encounter.
Yeah, what's with quirked as encounters? Okay.
That is a good
I mean,
question.
having control on when we have an encounter is pretty fucking decent.
But yeah, you. Oh yeah, what altitude? How high are you gonna fly?
Obviously, we're gonna go high
How high?
over the tree line.
Fair. So, going north in the very distance, and as soon as you exit the fort again, you see the distant not tree lines, mountain lines of the mountains just to the north. And by minute from minute, little by little, inch by inch, the mountain range becomes more larger and more out there, and you realize that where you travel are just basically mountainous areas. But for the first 2 hours of your flight, literally nothing happens.
I always get those rolls. I'm sad.
There's like with your past perceptions, like there's like occasional wildlife at the bottom. No like trolls or ogres or anything. Just everything is calm. There's quite a few more trees. Not like a lot of trees, not forest type trees, but like bundles of like 20, 40 in a singular area. Just a bunch of like foresty pieces in the general plains overall. And it's a bit more hilly. Like you realize that you were like not on like flying, but going like fly like on foot. The whole thing would have been probably a lot longer, seeing how many mountainous areas just like literally are just like you need to go up and down, and you realize you go like 400 feet to make like 100 feet of distance.
Can I see the forest of Arg from this height? Or at the very least, the near horizon of it?
No. Looking westward, it's still just kind of plains. Well, yeah, you see patches of trees like dotted around the vision, and you do know that like most trees in the general vicinity in this continent. Same in the forest of Ark. There is similar trees.
How much time would it take for me to actually travel to the forest of Arg from here?
You don't know. But
A little sigh.
yeah, besides that, the winds are still. Nothing much is happening as you're just making your way through the mountainous plains towards mountains. I would like, if anybody else wants to do anything, I would like somebody to roll a d10 again.
I can do a D10.
Sure. Hey. 6. I would like you to roll me a d6. Ira.
Uh-oh.
Is that a fucking one? Holy shit. I would like everybody to roll me a perception check.
Fair
Perception.
enough. I'm gonna give myself inspiration, though, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Thank you.
Can I use guidance?
Guidance in my
Yeah,
first
sure.
You just put this here. Fuck. That's painful. Okay, that's 1, that's 12. That's 5, that's 8. My perception is 15. 60 plus 8, 23. 37. Yep.
27.
Give me a second. I just need to check something. Okay. So, free.
Yes.
Can Hodard. Uh, oh guys, Griselda's gonna hate this. I guess. So, to your west, all of you with your perceptions that you rolled, you all see this like a lake. Just looks kind of big. Maybe you assume maybe it's like half a mile, 3/4 of a mile long. It's a nice pond of water in the middle of nowhere. Doesn't have like a stream or anything that you see, and you know that's for all of you, most of you. Uh, Hodart, um you spot that by the lake, by the south side of the lake, there's a small campfire, including with quite a few humanoid individuals. Hairy humanoid individuals, but from the distance that you are, maybe a mile away, you don't really know what the fuck it is. 3, with a perception of 37. You realize that you're in the you see by the lake there are minotaurs. Maybe about 20-ish.
Now I understand what you mean by Grizzly being pissed.
Uh-huh. And additionally, you see a dragon in the campfire in the camp
What color?
bronze. You assume it's either a very, very young adult or just, you know, a young dragon.
Okay, bronze. That's metallic. That's good. Chaotic, but good. Okay. Is does it appears like there's any trouble?
No. By the camp, like you see the smoke, you see that they're by the river. You see quite a few individuals are walking, and you see the dragon is moving freely in the general vicinity. What they're doing exactly, you really don't know. But like, they're not fighting. You don't hear any shouting.
Guys, there's a bronze dragon over there. Or what can I assume is a bronze dragon?
Dragon?
That and minotaurs near a lake. My curiosity is piqued. Should we attempt contact? They don't seem to be doing anything bad.
Aren't dragons dangerous?
Depends, I suppose. No dragons I've met so far are good, but I did read a few books. Just
I-
passage notes, but who really pays attention?
I have always been taught to stay away from dragons.
I don't actually recall of seeing a dragon up close. So, that could be neat. But generally, not the sort of thing you want to go interacting with willy nilly. Willy.
I mean, you're about a mile
Hodar?
away.
What is your thoughts on
I'm
this
a
dragon?
giant owl.
Woo, woo.
But can I?
Nod your head or shake your head if. Yeah, not for go. Not
Do I know things
just
about
say.
bronze
Are we
dragons?
still under the effect of telepathy with each other? Or
Because
I think that only lasts for an hour,
okay,
and I don't
Re-
recall casting that in a while.
yeah. So roll me a history check with advantage.
I do want to give him inspiration, but I'm fear that I know what guidance at the very least. Too late. Too late.
Sorry, guys.
Uh,
Got 12.
well, there's a bunch of fucking dragons. You know that some metallic dragons are friendly nature, but which ones?
I mean, he's gonna give us like something that looks kind of like a shrug. Kind of like
As
we
he
could
flies.
go. We could go there. We should be fine.
It is, Ira. It really is. So, all right. Who says go? Lift your hand. Who says stay? Don't lift your hand. Ready? No. I'm holding Quirk with a single hand as I lift mine.
Ira uses both of her hands to keep herself steady on the back of Hodart. She doesn't want to raise any hands.
What does NPC Griselda say?
Fine, whatever. Like you hear that she says she says it like under her breath, like gritting her teeth. Fine, whatever, we can go.
Well, and Quirk lifted his hand up. Yep, he did. So, I guess we're going. Side detour. Follow me. And we're going towards them in a non-aggressive manner.
I really think this is a bad idea.
Alrighty.
It is.
So how are we gonna approach this? This is very interesting.
Oh, just from Sky, just making ourselves known, I guess.
Uh-huh. Okay, so how close you wanna fly before you do any specific actions?
60 feet, or no, you know what? What do you think, guys? 60 feet, 80 feet?
You should land
Probably a
before-
little far off.
Yeah, at the very least 100 feet, right?
Something around that.
So,
Yeah, let's go over the lake at the very least. Not be shot out, like near the water, I guess.
So, with your high perception free, you basically see that the bronze dragon was communing with one of the minotaurs, and you immediately see that the minotaur spots you and starts looking back, and you assume that he notifies about your presence. You see quite a few minotaurs stand up and just observe you. And just flying low. Before I say, and flying up closer, you realize that they looks like they just set up camp. As you see the pile of smoke that you saw with your perception is now getting bigger as more and more lumber and roots are getting tossed into it.
I'm just gonna wave at them to see to note friendly behavior. Or like, do they wave back or have any?
They stare back at you. You see the bronze dragon tries to lift up and immediately gets stopped by one of the minotaurs that he was talking to, like getting held by the neck. And you roll me an insight, everybody.
Okay, time to give myself the biggest boost for this shit. So yeah, I'm gonna go full on. Okay, that's well, that's additional 10. This is 17. 28.
I
Okay.
have guidance too.
25.
So Ira and Free, you realize that just by the looks of it, it didn't look like the Minotaur was like doing out of act of like uh rage or threats or
Malice.
malice towards bronze dragon and more like actually trying to keep it grounded for his own sake.
I'm gonna speak in Draconic. We mean no harm. We are just curious. Do we have permission to come closer?
You hear a sudden roar. So anybody who knows Draconic, I'm not gonna ask who knows Draconic.
Yeah.
You all
I mean,
hear.
Do you have to
Shut up. You just hear the bronze dragon just yell out, "Come! I want to see you. I've never seen anything like you. Come!"
Well, he seems curious. Let's go closer.
Let's go close.
Curiosity. That's what those weird guttural noises sounded like to you? All right.
Yes, actually, I speak dragon. For
Yes. As do I.
He
I've
said,
dropped my form.
over the
In
water.
midair.
Are you sure you want to do that?
Ha! No. I'd say that in hoot.
the dragon said he wanted to meet us.
So wait, am I the only one here that doesn't speak dragon? Why do so many people speak dragon?
I mean, it's a tongue that could be useful in these kinds of situations.
It's a it's a fashion statement, honey. You don't get it.
Quirk out of anybody should get fashion. That's the thing.
By the way, I just realized I do have guidance as well.
Oh, now you realize.
My
Just kidding.
question is Draconic language related somewhat to magic or wizards? Or is that just canon D&D and not this lore?
Wait, what?
I mean, we're talking about if dragon speech is also magic speech.
Ancient Draconic is magic speech.
Okay.
Draconic is basically watered down version of what dragons teach to Dragonborn, and Dragonborn basically taught the rest.
Usroda!
Fuck off.
Okay. So, yeah, we are getting closer. I think at the coast and landing.
So as you land, the dragon like looks very, very like interested, and you see it tries to like just go towards you, like we're talking, like tries to full on charge towards you, and it's getting held back by like 4 minotaurs, says one of the first minotaurs who held it by the neck, who is a brown, like thin brown fur minotaur that has what's it called? His the horns seem that they've been either like broken off or cut off, as he doesn't adore anything besides like normal pelts and makeshift stone axe, as he says in Draconic, "Calm yourself, little one, calm yourself."
I look at the Minotaur. Do you speak common? No response?
No. Because he's focusing on the like imagine a minotaur
Yeah,
trying
okay.
it's like trying to contain a very overhyped
Oh, I can relate to that. Oh shit.
Yeah. I want to take a look around the camp to see how the other.
Don't stray too far.
No, look, just see.
Just looking from your point, from
What
where you're
the
standing.
other minotaurs are doing.
Well, everybody's up at your attention, and everybody looks similarly dressed, like plain leather clothing, and we're talking literally like wraps. Some of them, like everybody has like distinct brownish fur, but the length and the shape with occasional color mixtures are different. Uh, a lot of them are missing their horn, but some of them still have theirs. And except for one who has like the biggest horns, who also has a robe of not leather, but even you assume cloth that is grayish in color, who just kind of sits by the fire and kind of looks at it, not even phased by your coming. All the rest like look like
And he,
okay.
and here I am remembering that we almost had a Minotaur join our party.
Oh yeah, if
Yeah.
he joined up, he would know exactly who the fuck these people are.
Yeah, that's what I assumed.
Yeah.
He seems smart enough to be that one Minotaur wizard's compatriots.
Would it be possible to make an insight check to see who the important people of the Minotaurs are?
Roll me insight, of course.
And this because it's a guidance, of course. I think I've rolled max for guidance 4 times in a row.
Hell yeah.
I am going to put a hand on my chin looking at the dragon. May we ask what you're doing in this location? We are not to judge, but we're just curious. Yes, first time I've seen a dragon with your coloration. Draconic.
Okay, so first of all, Ira inside.
Yeah.
So they look relatively primitive minotaurs, but also look like civilized in a twist of sense. They're not openly hostile, and the only one who looks like the rest look like they have spears of stone, axes of stone. They don't have any resemblance of metal anywhere. Uh, and the individual with the like that looks like he's in charge is the minotaur that is sitting by the campfire and kind of maintaining the flame. This it has not talked, it has not looked at you. He is content on looking at the fire and not the situation. While the dragon looks like less like a later, more like a lost lamb or a lost child.
I assumed as much.
As the dragon says, we're traveling where water is salt.
The ocean?
Oh shit. Oh shit. And you see, okay, I need to roll something. Give me a second.
This is actually kind of cute.
Yeah, you see, it starts to say ocean, ocean over again and tries to like fly up.
Oh dear.
Yeah. As the Minotaur who like held the beginning, and now there's like 5 of them holding him.
My hands are together. My hands are together. And in my face, there is concern.
Yeah, I rise a bit tense
As
in
as
anticipation and preparation.
I'm not concerned by the dragon's actions. That's the thing.
That's probably why he didn't say it outright.
so as the Minotaur just says, we are traveling nomads, and 2 seasons ago we stumbled upon a lost little lizard, which the chief, as he kind of gives like a head motion towards the fire, instructed us to attend to him and take care of him, and that lizard grew into, well,
Dragon. I'm guessing we're talking in Draconic.
yeah. And
Okay.
when you try to speak in common, he he has this blank stare, like he focused half on you, but also half on the dragon, because like occasionally kind of stops, and then you see that the dragon is like trying to like tries to like calm down, only to get like specific footing and try to just go loose.
Hey, first of all, I think that child is adorable, and now I need to tell you, do not, I repeat, do not go towards. I point out to like the location of Trugmar and the like little garrison. I say, do not go there if you want to protect this child. Specifically.
We been in these plains for many seasons. We know how to traverse these lands unseen. But with
Good.
him, as he kind of holds, it becomes quite difficult.
Yes. Well, I'm a bit worried for him now, because I have some very strong people. Oh boy. Anyways, this looks like a peaceful little group. And honestly, I don't see you making any dangers for anyone, which is actually a little relief. Oh, sorry, my excitement. It's been so long since I've seen, you know, not common folk.
Hmm.
Do you
You
know
see,
of the Forest of Arg?
he just kind of nods, and you see at this point the dragon just slowly calms down, and he looks a bit tired. He kind of just slumps
Oh, he tuckered himself out.
down, and everybody's just like hell. Like he basically got on the ground. He just kind of closes his eyes, and everybody kind of lets go. And he immediately charges at you. I would like everybody to roll dexterity saving throw.
Oh, he juked! He juked!
Dexterity.
Everybody?
Oh, I love this little guy. I'm gonna die. Oh boy. 20! Dirty 20! Ooh.
I should
Let
have
me use
cast
a luck
Sanctuary
point.
on myself.
Uh, honestly, Quirk can take mine because Quirk can take my dexterity saving throw because I think I'm still carrying him. I didn't let him go.
I mean, he did land
I land, but did I say that I let go?
there. So, Ira,
Oh no!
you're like you just all of a sudden, you calm down, you blink, and you see the dragon just charge, and you got no time to move as
Oh boy.
Quirk, because Free reacts fast enough, and Quirk just got fucking yeeted with Free moments. Uh, as the dragon knocks over you and just starts to like inspect you. And how do I say this? It's basically its bronze head, and you see the scales are fresh and shine to the point that you can see your own reflection as it just like starts to like investigate you. And
Yeah.
what I'm talking is literally he's like pressing his snout against like your body, and just like looks around and occasionally just bites a bit of your clothing, so you just move up.
Yeah. I just freezes completely and super wide eyes. Just try,
I
tries to
kind of go back to.
shuffle back a bit.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and go forward.
And I
Now,
subtle spell
be,
cast
be,
Sanctuary on myself.
Sanctuary.
be, yeah, yeah. I'm kind of talking to the. Gonna try and talk to the dragon. Be careful now. We're not as tough as the Minotaurs. We are more fragile, I think. So please be careful.
So, Ira, as you like stay there, and he hears the voices, and he kind of comes down, and then kind of starts looking at your face, and just asks, and
Please don't eat me.
no, she just says, "Are you dead? Do you know Draconic?"
I know Draconic.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
you know.
he asks you because he just sees you like wide open. Look at him. Are you dead?
You won't eat me, would you?
Uh, do you taste good?
No.
Uh, I prefer fish. I like fish.
Sorry, I'm just giddy over this.
I'm alive. She starts to shuffle a bit backwards.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of now like it's basically like is on top of you, but not sitting. Like you see its legs, and you kind of just cut around. It's like it's not following you, but the head is just kind of slowly twists, just kind of trying to look at you.
Dog, looking at the mouse on the ground.
Uh, the mouse in the ground. What?
Nah, I got an image in my head just.
Hey.
Never mind.
So yeah, as it just kind of calmly now inspects you, just like starts looking you over. You don't look like a fish. What are you? You're
I am me, Ira.
hi,
Hello.
hi, me Ira.
Hello.
Uh,
Ira tries to look around, see if she can get any help from other people.
uh, the the Minotaurs tried to do something, but just kind of stopped, and for a moment they drew their weapons. uh, but now seeing that nobody's like doing anything, they just kind of like held their weapons to the sides. Um, what did you say? Also, does anybody else want to interact? Because
I feel like the Minotaurs are also relieved that nothing happened.
yeah, they are, because they actually thought that Tyler was killed. Oh,
And the dragon's been talking, right?
yeah, in Draconic.
Well, I'm gonna go up to it.
I'm gonna look at Quirk and say, and basically explain what's going on. That this is
Are
just
you
a very
are you
big
gonna
baby.
are you gonna go in the owl form or actual like?
I dropped
Okay.
my poly.
You immediately see its
Or my-
direction as you try to get its attention. Ira immediately the attention goes from you to the fucking Odin dart. As Odin, you're just getting like he's using his head, and the head is like the head and the neck is like 3.5 foot long, and it just like observes you like a fucking rapid snake, just kind of like giving a bunch of angles, just kind of looking you up and down. What are you? I seen these something like you but smaller, standing on the tops of trees at night.
Well, I'm afraid I come from a different plane. I come from a place called the Feywild.
Ooh.
Oh yes. If at any one point, probably take you there one day. Should we meet again?
Ooh, what's a plane?
Well, it is, where we are. This whole world in is called a plane of existence, and there's other planes of existence that are filled with many other different creatures. And there's
You guys
travel
are
between
talking a
them.
lot of gobbledygook around here. I'm just, you know what? tell them, with all due respect, I'm gonna be not here, and then I.
Wait! I can't. Wait a second. Wait a second. There you go. I cast comprehend language on Quirk.
Yeah, no, I'm okay with that still. You guys enjoy yourselves with all due respect.
Dang it!
I don't really like it right here, right now, and
I put him down. All right, but do come back quickly, please.
you say that to a poof of Dimension Door.
Where your dimension door?
500 feet away.
Okay. Yeah.
And then I am scuttling behind something taller than me, which shouldn't be hard to find.
Yeah. I mean, the grass here is like tall enough for you to hide in. But
As
yeah,
the dragon is distracted, can Ira crawl away?
yeah. But as soon as you try to crawl away, it immediately looks at you.
And she stops.
So how did you get all the way out here?
Uh,
Especially since
then
where
you-
they're trying to take
yeah.
you
Ira,
is
the first things of Hodor's words immediately head looks back at Hodor.
She's slow.
at this point I'm trying to get into conversation with the dragon
Yeah.
so that she can get away.
Actually, what are your names? I'm looking at the area, looking like a dragon and the Minotaur. Do you have names? I know some tribes go by titles.
We're called the Broken Tusks, despite we have any lack of tusks. It's a long story. As
Understandable.
as the bronze dragon exclaims loudly, says, "I'm a black hole."
I look at the Minotaur. Stomach?
Huh?
I'm looking at the Minotaur. Is he referencing his stomach? Has he been called a black hole?
No, that's where we found him. In a quiet, isolated, hollowed out mountain far north.
Ah. Far north. I know there are dragons far north. Wait. If I remember correctly, there was a metallic dragon up north, right? There are metallic dragons up north.
I mean, there's all kinds of stuff. Like, you don't know, but there's like
I
stuff.
think I heard a reference of metallic dragons up north, right?
No, I actually didn't.
Okay, that must have been my imagination then.
And I try to
But-
stealth crawl away.
But then
At this point, Ira, Hodart has the full attention of the dragon, black hole. So, yeah, Hodart. You asked how did he came here?
Yes.
I had I had and he tries to like say something and just looks like he looks like he's confused for a moment. And then I wandered in the dark a lot. And then he found me as he kind of looks back, and you see the Minotaur who was talking to you. Free just looks back at the bronze dragon, and he kind of gives a nod. And I've been traveling with them, eating a lot of fish, and this is the biggest lake I've seen. And they told me that there's even a bigger lake, much bigger.
I'm guessing. I look at the Minotaur. I'm guessing you're taking him to the ocean so he can basically fend for himself, finding plenty of fish, so he doesn't starve. Seems like a fair trial.
He just kind of gives a slight nod with no words. So yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
it has been fun meeting you all, but I think we should get our companions back together.
As Ira manages to scuttle away.
Yeah.
Uh, she hides behind Griselda.
All right, now. I'll go find. Actually, I grabbed the coin. Quick, we're going. You can come back now.
Yeah, Quirk, you suddenly get a message in your head saying that you know that it comes from Free saying that they're going.
You
Can
go on ahead. I'll catch up here soon.
Can I quickly talk to the Minotaur? So you plan on taking to the ocean? Do you have any idea where the nearest one is?
Huh?
He's asking where the ocean is.
If
Hold
they
on.
know.
I know where the ocean is.
One
take
of the Minotaur that you were talking to just says, "We know that the ocean is south. It will take many seasons to get there, but we will get there."
Well then, we wish you well on your journeys, and may our paths meet again under different circumstances.
Oh, I'd rather like these circumstances of meeting new people that are friendly. But
I mean,
good thing
it
for
was
you,
more of
Minotaur.
it was
My
more
first.
of if we decide to if we weren't on a desperate mission right now, we would hang out with
Yeah.
them more, get to know
Yeah.
them more.
But Broken Tusk, I thank you. My first impression of Minotaurs is a good one. I hope we meet again. And I will start to flutter a little bit, looking at my other teammates. Well, Odath, I
Yeah.
think it's time.
I seem to be out of wild shapes. I guess you guys get to see what's a koata looks like.
I'm sorry, what?
I polymorph myself into a quetzal. A quetzal.
So
You see immediately the dragon looks around like, "Where did he go? Who are you?"
I look at the dragon and say, that is the owl. He used magic.
Ooh. Like the Minotaur by the campfire. Ooh.
Interesting. But yes, magic can do many things. Many wonderful and powerful, but mostly dangerous things. Be careful around magic. Well, Ira, Grizz, let's be off. Quirk will join us later. I'm sure he has his ways.
Ira takes a few steps towards the dragon and places her treat that she made in this early morning on the ground before the dragon and just quickly go back.
Yeah, and you see immediately smelling around. You see the dragon immediately locates the object, and just fucking eats it whole, wrapping and all.
That's adorable. Free's gushing over this. She's like, "Aw, big baby." I mean, they both come from eggs. I guess there's some attachment there. Anyways, I think after that, it's we would be heading off back to the direction we were actually heading in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, minute. So, are you gonna regroup, Quirk, or are you gonna?
Yeah, once I see them start to take off, he's gonna cast fly on himself and take a very wide arc way around the minotaurs and the dragon, staying low until he's far enough away. Basically, he doesn't want to be seen by them. That shit, he doesn't like that. There's too many questions there that he doesn't want to bother answering.
So, with that said and done, then I would like one of you to roll me a d10.
Tell everybody I'm on my way. Na, 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 na. New friends and new places to see. Yeah, I forgot that quote. Anyway.
Ken, do you want to?
Sure.
Yeah. Ira gets the friendly encounters. I get nothing. Who
10.
forgets the enemies? Let's see what Ken gets.
Find a random magic item just on the floor.
In the
Oh,
sky.
look at that! Excalibur!
Just find a immovable rod that's placed in the sky
Ah.
randomly.
What's Rog doing here?
So, what the rock doing? uh, can I just say roll me a d100?
Oh no!
Also,
But we're not in the archipelago.
roll a perception check,
Who?
everybody. If it can rolls, hold on, roll me a d100.
Straight down the middle, 50, baby.
That's not enough. Roll me a d100. You can't do this d100. There must be. This is.
It was
It's
enough.
degrees of failure or success.
29.
Oh boy. Oh shit.
That sounds. I have a good feeling about
no.
that laugh, guys.
It's gonna be a storm, isn't it?
No. So what's gonna happen is
Think I like dragons.
y'all go. Yeah, you like dragons, boy. You're not. You
I
see
don't
them.
think I like dragons.
So
Ira, why did you open your mouth?
Free. It is. The wind is cold here, and you start to see like the most mountainous area. And you realize that probably in an hour or two, it's gonna become you need to fly up, to actually go up to where you assume the mines are. As there's like it's harsher winds coming from the north. They occasionally hit you, and there's that cold, that stinging cold of the mountains.
Is this an abnormal cold?
It is.
I'm having flashbacks. Oh no.
It is.
Oh,
But
nothing.
yeah, it's chilly. It's cold. It's fine overall. It's not like freezing or anything. But it's getting a bit later, and about the end of your 2 hour mark, over the mountain edges that you assume maybe are few dozen miles away, just like the very end of your vision, and you just see like mile high mountains, and it's just mountains. There's no like there's no like a storm or clouds even. It's pretty clear. You see at the very end of your vision, in those distant mountains miles away, a massive scaly silhouette in the mountaintops.
Who saw this?
Everybody,
Free.
hide! I make everybody go dib down. I'm getting everybody on the ground.
you immediately start to see you look again and you see it just kind of lays there for a moment and just kind of just vanishes, and you start to see the mountain range where he was. You suddenly start to see avalanche starts to form, followed
Oh,
in a few seconds, followed by a massive crack in the sky in the form of a roar.
are we in like from this proximity? Would the minotaurs and small bronze dragon be in any danger or possible danger?
It's been over 2 hours of travel since you see that, and
So
it's
I'm guessing there's it would be apparently safe since the thing is not heading in that direction at all.
it's not heading anywhere. You just saw something on the like on the very end of your vision, high up in the mountains, of a
Oh,
scaly black entity, and immediately just fucking vanishes, followed by a thundering roar of a
so
dragon.
we're not close to that avalanche and that.
No, you
Okay,
you
good.
assume that wherever the fucking thing, what you saw is maybe like 60, not 70 miles away, high up in the
Oh,
mountains.
yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, this is not good.
Oh yeah.
Now, this dragon I do not want to go see. Oh boy.
Yeah, so, but besides the sudden uh year year the crash of sound that is almost equivalent to lightning, but all of you can understand that it's a powerful roar of a dragon.
That sound was
That's
Uh,
gonna be the theme of this day, guys. It's dragons, because next game we're fighting one.
I know. It's fucking theme of the day. Dragons.
what
Hey,
kind
it
of
is called.
creature
You
was
said
that?
the secret word.
Anyways. Ira, do not panic. It was just a very mean dragon. I think. Right over the mountain. The abnormal cold says it all. Everybody, I think it now would be a good time to like what time is it right now?
It's about 6, 7 a.m.
AM?
PM.
PM. Like you think it like is that a good camping time? I'm not sure. That's a time as good as any to crash, I guess.
I don't think I like
What,
dragons.
what do you guys think? Should we camp here, just staying low on the ground for a bit? Honestly, I don't trust our chances flying when that is
Well,
around.
if we want to camp, quote unquote camp, just find me a spot big enough to tuck a little doorway into something, and we'll camp. It'll be fine.
Do I see any rock formations from my location?
Roll a perception check.
Will do, Captain. Actually, I will say, tell my team. Well, if you want a little neat tuck, either find a big tree or some rock formations for a cave. 23. Does this 23 help me in any way?
Yeah, I mean, plenty of just random boulders, and it's getting a bit mountainous and rocky in specific spots. You do find just like not a cave, like a bundle of rocks that is just an actual.
I'm guessing just a hidden corner.
Oh, kind of, yeah. It's like like a bundle of rocks that are probably uh like overgrown by thick moss and probably been there for since probably time immemorial.
How about over there, Quirk? I point him in that direction.
Yep, that ought to work pretty well. I mean,
Huh?
technically, now that I'm thinking about the specifics of it, it really doesn't matter. Once we close the door becomes invisible. So,
All right. Now then, Ken, transform back into your usual shape. I think we're going to rest
Yeah.
anyways.
Okay. You pop out of it.
I look at Quirk. Do you have a kitchen in there?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. But quite frankly, I mean, you could cook if you want to, but there's really no need to. As there's plenty of help in there to take care of that.
I kind of smile, looking at Quirk, leaning down. Oh? Are your servants better cooks? I kind of smile cheekily.
Well, when you're creating magic food, it's not so much the quality of the cook so much as the quality of the imagination creating the food.
I don't use magic in my food.
Yeah, but in my home, as he's rubbing his hands together, like for all intents and purposes, he's casting the spell, like placing the pieces where they need to be and getting it all ready. Yeah, but in my home, everything's magic. Everything's based on my imagination, and everything, as the portal is created, is fucking glorious. He opens the door, and as soon as he opens the door, you see in, and all you see is a giant Roman style, like public bath kind of deal, but the most ridiculously ornate, ostentatious take on it you can imagine. Gold
Wow.
gilded, marble statues all around it, and a banquet table filled to the brim with fresh fruits, dewars of wine, whiskey, casks of ale, the nine.
Wow.
So I have a quick question. Do you have any ambience that you have in mind for this? Or
No,
not?
not off the top of my head.
Oh,
Harpsichord.
The 4.
Sure.
Come on. Go for the Roman harp. Come on.
give me a second. Let's see if I find it. You know what?
Go for Hades.
You know what? You know what? Maybe I found something noteworthy. So yeah, let's you all retire into Quirk's semi-plane. Yeah. What would you like to do in it besides, rest?
Well, I'm going to be very tempted by the bath and actually give in to my temptations.
Quirk is already in the process of being undressed by his unseen servants as he's walking into the bath.
I'm guessing it's just a single bath.
Yeah, it's one giant bath. Think like 30 feet by 20 feet.
Looking at Quirk. Mind if I join you?
Oh, by all means.
Although I don't have any unseen servants, I am going to do it by hand. One claw here, one claw there, undressed and slowly relaxing in the warm water.
You'd think for somebody as hedonistic as me, I probably would pray to your god, Illyra. But, just not really my thing.
If I'm
Self-admitted
correct,
hedonist, though.
if I recall, you pray at a god of magic, right? Hidden secrets, right? Is that what you said?
And not less magic and more forbidden knowledge. She's a few things.
I
She's
approach
moon
you a
lady.
bit.
She's the night mistress.
I've always had a interest in mystery, but then
She's
again,
also the goddess of lichens.
lichens. That must have been a very unfortunate thing then for the rat people.
Yeah, I'm still not entirely sure how well that's going to be received.
I mean, we weren't directly caused for that. We were the catalyst for it, though.
Either way, I'm sure that I'm going to have some explaining to do about that.
Indeed.
Is what it is. Not the first time I've pissed her off.
Not the first time you pissed off your god. Now I gotta hear this.
that's definitely a story, but maybe not for tonight. Maybe for tonight. We'll see. He claps his hands a couple of times, and one of the unseen servants brings him over a full, like, almost as tall as he is, pitcher of red wine.
Hmm.
If any of you want to retire straight to your rooms, the rooms are on the second floor. Staircases are at opposite ends. Kitchen's down there on the left. Washrooms, well, I mean, private washrooms are up there on the right.
Erex, has it started becoming dark outside, or is it still
It's
like,
slowly but surely become dark. Like when you were entering, like when Quirk finished the thing, it was already slowly setting. The sun was slowly setting.
He's really getting comfortable. Get her. Do you ever see a canary or a bird taking a bath?
Yeah.
She's doing the little shake thing. She's really getting into it. Ah, I have the space to do that now. At home, the bath is pretty small.
And that's the wonderful thing about it over here. This water, it stays at a perfect, I want to
Temperature?
get this, 43 degrees C all the time. It's wonderful.
Ah, warm. I really do like your style.
Well, it does wonders for the skin, keeping it nice and hydrated. And, well, each of you has 10 servants, by the way. Ask for whatever you want. When we're done here, I'm going to go back to my private room, and I do recommend the oil massage. It's to die for. Like I say, everything in here is kind of based on my imagination, and you can imagine how good of a massage I prefer.
I think I just found an image that is technically what free is.
uh,
Move here.
Yeah.
a question about this place, Quirk? Did you say it was an open bath like design? Or how did it look like?
Let me get a picture for you. Posting it in general. But a little bit more ostentatious. Same design, much nicer. Like peak condition.
Also, I have a question. Since you are the master, you're the maid, what's the ceiling like? Or does it have a ceiling?
Well, there's not really a ceiling per se, except in the upstairs bedroom areas and like the downstairs closed off things, which would just be the regular like marble stone that the building's made out of. But the sky, as it's perceived to be, which there is, the limits of the thing, is like the most vivid southern hemisphere night sky with the Milky Way blasting across, looking glorious. That sort of thing. Real spacey, real astrological. Meteorites and the like streaking by every once in a while. And everything's moving like just a little bit. If you try to focus on any one particular star, it's kind of jittering. So it's really hard, it's kind of hard to focus specifically on.
Ira is currently she went outside of the mansion. Is currently at the cave, sitting and watching the landscape slowly turn dark. And she watches the hills and the plains.
Perception check.
Okay. 16. Oh, 4. This is it should be plus 7, so it should be 19.
As the violent rays of light abandon the sky and the night sets in, as you take a breath, you start to realize that it's getting very cold. As what's it called? You get not smoke, steam coming from your mouth as you breathe out. It's a lot colder here at night.
She wraps herself up in her. I think she had like a coat of
Yeah.
warmth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I will also add that there is an area, like a changing area off to the side of the public bath area, and there is a facsimile of bath attire, if you will, like bathrobes for when you get out, bathing equipment. It's not going to fit any of you perfectly because he doesn't have your measurements, but he's, rough estimates for what he thinks you would all wear. And that's available for any of the party members who are a little bit more reserved with bodily displays.
And we all know Griselda, no.
Mm-hmm. And the water is somehow magically just a little like it's magically opaque, if you will.
Oh, there. You doing anything besides taking a bath, if at all?
I think he's, after a little bit of observing, and because he's fascinated by this whole thing, after a while, he'll eventually come and join.
Join.
I love the fact that owls hate to get wet for the fact that they can't fly. It's like, bath.
He'll dry off in time.
I know, but still.
He's gonna.
Or
He's
smarter
gonna.
than owls.
I'm
You know, I
part
have an
duck, you
idea.
know. No, just kidding.
I have an idea for a modification I'm going to do the next time I make this place. I've got two individuals here that seem to have feathers and water-related issues. I'm thinking like a little chamber with a constant warm updraft.
A little activity I've taken part in is sandbathing. If you wouldn't mind. Keeps the feathers
That
dry.
can also
and
be arranged.
luscious. It would be
So,
appreciated.
yeah, I'll make sure to put a sand bath in your room. And Hodarth, do you have any particular preferences for how you prefer to dry off? Thinking warm updraft or like sand bath. I don't know. Just make it easy on you because it seems like water and your feathers might be a bit of an issue.
But I'll have the same. I'll have the same way of drying off, if you please.
Sounds good to me. All right, so next time I make this, we'll have that little modification. Also, if any of you have any other suggestions or concerns, let me know. You mentioned kitchen free, so kitchen, like mid room on the left side, should have enough stuff in there. It's not like
Perhaps a nice, lovely grove for me to be in. Probably feel a little bit more like home.
Grove might be a little bit difficult because that would be a lot of trees, but I can definitely get you a nice garden.
That will do.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I noticed we've lost Ira. You think she's okay?
Oh, I'm sure she's not gonna go outside, so she's probably still in here, which I don't worry.
Fair enough, but I mean the door's not invisible, which means somebody's not in here.
What?
Yeah, the door. Like the door closes and then becomes invisible when everybody's here and we're all on an extra dimensional space. As you can see, I can see the door.
I'm gonna grab my coin and see and trying to notice Ira. I'm pretty sure sending doesn't work on.
Nope, nope. Get no response immediately.
She's outside. Dang it.
I'm sure she's all right.
I mean, it is bitter cold outside. Don't want her to freeze.
Well, she could always come back in when she gets cold.
Mm. So many things happen when you're not looking. I'm still worried enough. I'll go see if she's all right.
Okay, now I feel like I shouldn't have said anything. Now I feel bad.
Now I'm just going to get off, and I'm pretty sure. Are there towels anywhere?
Uh,
Oh yeah, they're over with the bathrobes and the just like bathing equipment.
Yeah, I'm basically taking 3 towels, 2 for my wings and 1 for my main body,
Fair enough.
and I'm gonna.
There's a tall stack of them, and you'll notice that they're all heated and slightly steamy.
Nice. I'm just gonna poke my head out of the door, just to see if Ira's right outside.
She is.
Oh, Ira. Just. I was a bit worried because you weren't inside. Is anything wrong?
No, nothing's wrong. I was just thinking a bit.
All right. Just be careful, and if you see any purple glow, come back inside immediately. Seriously, if you see any purple glow or a magic portal, just please come back. Very dangerous.
And going back inside.
Yeah.
And I'm going to continue the bath.
Can we see the mountains from where we are?
yep. Well, I mean, it's now getting dark, and it's free as you get out. It's like fucking cold.
Yeah, that's why I only poked my head out, because I am not exiting while being wet.
Also, I'm looking at Harpy art, and holy shit, people are talented. Well, you know what Free's gonna do, so I'll be right back.
Quirk is having his servants deliver him a feast of crab cakes and it's like what else would he want to have tonight? He's the Minotaur thing that really got him thinking. So he wants crab cakes and he wants a big like tomahawk steak. He's just eating it right there in the bath.
I just imagine chunks of pieces
So-
are just floating.
Surely you have a dizzying set of manners. Interesting. Do all of your race act like this?
What this? Eating in the tub?
Yes.
Not most of them, honestly. Most people don't tend to enjoy life to the fullest like I do. Speaking of, that makes me think. And reaches over and grabs Lester, holds it up, looks at it, and then reaches over back into snaps his fingers and has his servants bring him over one of the little vials from his belt pouch and go ahead and cast True Seeing on himself after putting a couple eye drops in. See if your friend's here too.
Is my friend here?
No, actually.
Oh, I don't see her anywhere nearby. Not sure if she's able to come in. I don't know the mechanics of this house, though.
Well, technically, anybody that I would allow to come in would be able to come in, and since I know that that's a thing. Although I think I've actually seen them. I don't know. I didn't specifically deny them access, so
Okay,
Oh.
I'm back. What I miss?
I'm sure they'll pop up if and when they decide to.
Wait,
But right now, seems to not be here.
wait a second. I just realized. Aren't we
You have
three
hands?
people in the same bath?
one more time.
Aren't we like three people already in the same bath?
Yep.
Groovy.
It's a big bath.
Oh.
You ever hot tubbed before? I mean, come on.
Yeah, but this time it's actual bathing. Oh well.
Clothing is optional.
I want to get clothing wet.
After a little while, Ara will head back inside.
Actually, that's a good point. Wait a second. You did say we had like 10 servants, right? Invisible servants?
Oh yeah, ask for whatever you want. As long as it's within reason, it will be created.
Let's see if this works. Servants, clean my clothing. Might as well, right?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, that's an easy one. And you'll notice that your clothing begins to be gathered up and led off to a room in the middle right.
Fine.
You know, you'd be surprised at how well that they can press out a suit.
Mm.
Like they get the creases just right.
Wonder if I. No. Apparently, I did not know that spell. You know, if you help me along, do you have the spell for the invisible servants?
Oh yeah, of course, of course. I mean, bitumen is what I prefer to refer to him as. Currently,
I
we're up
wonder.
to bitumen the 28th, I think, 29th, something like that. I used to keep track.
At some point, I would like to have the. I would. Would you mind inscribing that spell on some paper on how you perform the spell?
Oh, like a
I'm a.
scroll. I
I'm a.
haven't written a
I,
scroll in so many years. Ah, that'll be interesting. I will warn
I
you
am
ahead
a.
of time. My handwriting is terrible.
Oh, don't worry. I'm a fast learner. I say that with a wink.
You know, I used to get all kinds of shit back when I was studying more my earlier spells. I was so bad at scribing, so bad. I'll tell you some stories. And he proceeds to tell stories about how he tried to
Before
make
saying,
a
don't
wall.
worry, I can comprehend all languages.
Early on, he tried to cast Wall of Fire, or he tried to scribe a scroll of Wall of Fire. He got some of the sigils wrong in the scroll, and when he went to go cast it, he created a 10-foot tall wall of peanut brittle. It was great. His instructor was pissed.
What is peanut brittle?
A sort
Well,
of
it's
treat.
like some sort of confection. You know what? Hold on. And he snaps his fingers, and a servant brings him a palm-sized piece of peanut brittle. If you've never had this, you're gonna love this.
Mm.
You don't exactly have teeth, but it's probably gonna get stuck in your beak, and it's gonna be real interesting.
Oh. Okay. Gonna
The advantages
take a
of being
nibble.
partially avian is that I actually have teeth.
He's
And
gonna
it is
take it.
delicious peanut brittle.
I'm going to take a piece as well. You know, I should learn how to make these. I haven't really done many confections, mostly meals.
Yeah, fair enough. Sometimes getting a hold of a bunch of the right kind of sugar can be difficult. I don't exactly know where you'd buy peanuts around here.
As Ira enters the mansion again, where is it mansion? Bath place. If I assume right, the bath is visible from the entrance. As you
Yep.
step in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's right in the front door. It's the very first thing you
Yeah.
walk into.
Yeah, she averts her gaze and walks around to the side.
Fair enough. Quirk once again mentions as he sees you. Oh, by the way, there's bathrobes and bathing wear if not particularly into displays of the bodily type, and I've made the water opaque for us, so no worries there. Can't see nothing. Anyway, so there was this other mistake that I made when I was going through Scribe, and I tried to scribe a mage armor scroll, and but I didn't use this one myself. It was to be tested by my instructor later on. And so when he went to go instruct or to cast the spell, he didn't exactly read it right. I had made it mage armor. And so yeah, he broke out in scabs and grew these like nasty looking hair. Got big mangy patches all over him for the rest of the day.
Big surprise
great.
big surprise on her her face. Oh, that must have been horrible.
Yeah, I was in detention for like a month and a half for that one. Not great.
And excuse me, do you have a room available?
Yeah,
Shall I
yours
escort
would
her?
be the second one upstairs on the right.
Yeah,
Should have a
thank you.
big A on it.
Yeah, and she will go to her room.
It's a nice room. He didn't really know exactly what to make your room look like, so it's a big double bed with lots of furs and like 4 or 5 pillows stacked kind of nicely. A dresser with a mirror, a window with shutters that you can close and latch if you want that looks out to the view of the night sky, and a little not like big like small fireplace to if you want to adjust the temperature accordingly, so you can kind of do what you want with that. Other than that, pretty bare bones. There's like a vase with a couple of white flowers in
Bare
there, and
bones. This is a fucking luxury mansion. What the fuck you mean?
Yeah, she places her equipment on like a bookshelf or no, what's it called? Yeah, some table or something, and then just face plants into the bed. Yeah.
Well, I guess after the bathing session, it's gonna be dry off and then off to bed. I guess after a meal.
Well, it's up to
yep.
you.
Or you could be a heathen like Quirk and eat in the tub.
I prefer not to eat while I'm in my own broth, but then again, it's magic. What do I care? You know what? Fuck it. Fuck it. He's ordering a roast served on a floating log. You know what I
And
mean.
you get a roast served on a floating log. Like the log's been dug out a little bit on the inside and shaved down so it's planed real flat and clean,
Oh.
and your meal's been
And
served on that.
the floating log was just to get it on the water without it sinking. Oh, lovely. Who needs utensils when you got talons? One slice, two slice, very thinly accurate. I guess instead
So
of beating around the bush.
a little floating, much smaller log floats by with some gravy in it.
Wonderful. I guess we're just being luxury chickens right now. Well, no, I think there's a better word for that.
Like better word for chickens?
No, in French,
Lush.
Poultry?
we have a no, in French we have a thing that it's called une poule de luxe. It's actually kind of funny. It's like a luxury chicken. Like, oh, look at that luxury chicken. It's weird because it's better said in French. But never mind.
Very ostentatious of us.
Yes. Yeah.
So, does anyone have any other plans specific that they want to make part of? Because just to speed it along just a bit.
Yeah. Did I notice anything different with Lester when I cast True Sight?
Uh, uh,
Sure.
well, yeah,
Yeah,
you
sure
did.
enough.
Yeah, you did, but
Is you know what I want to know? Is the less is the cane also bathing in the pool?
I assume it is, knowing how Quirk eats food.
Well, there's the question of, was he still a shriveled up, desiccated old man on the ground?
Well,
Or was he half dead?
at the moment, you don't see him. That's the point. You don't know where it is.
I only see the image of that cane, like held up by a towel, like somebody having a towel over his shoulders. Just, for some reason, that is funny to me.
Does the cane look like it did, or is it changed in any significant way? Like the item itself?
Hmm. What did you say?
Has the scepter that is Lester changed in any perceivable way?
Nope. Still the same. Oh, an amalgamation of wood, marble, silver, and gold.
Fair enough. I'm going to assume that he's just doing whatever it is that he's doing, but I can't enjoy myself. Beyond that, yeah, he's going to finish up his meal, and all right, well, you two can find yourself to your respective rooms. One's got a big H on it, the other's got a big F on it, and mine's going to be the one with the slightly bigger, much fancier looking door with a Q on it. I bid you adieu, he says with a bow, as unseen servants are holding towels up around him as he's walking away.
You know, that's a very subtle way of giving Free the F on her test.
One more time.
That's a very subtle way of giving Free the F. Ah, never mind. Yeah.
Sorry, that one went right over my head.
Yeah. Yeah, at least it's not an L.
For your respective rooms, by the way, Free, your room's going to be done up in a lot more of a, like, I don't necessarily want to, like, I'm trying to think of a way to describe it. Dungeon's not the right word, but like that less of the marble aesthetic and more of the hewn stone aesthetic. And the
Okay,
bed,
just
more of
say it
a,
if it looks like a sex dungeon.
no, not like that. He's trying to mimic more of what, because
The room?
he was in your house, and your house he
Ah,
kind of envisioned as more of a, because it was in up at the mountain, more of like a hewn stone block kind of situation. Your bed would be like again the big double bed with lots of furs, but wood frame kind of deal with like um, not so much spike architecture, but like claw kind of architecture, and
yep.
there'd be on the wall directly opposite your bed would be a big portrait of Mary, just because. And Hodarth, your room would be very like plants in pots in every possible corner, and he had no idea what to do for a bed for you. So you literally have like a bed almost exactly like Ira's, kind of a plain Jane, lots of furs and all that. But then also adjacent to it, there's also a legit perch, just like a post coming out of the wall like a perch. He had no idea what to do, so he included that.
Yeah, when he retires, he's going to the perch.
Well, I guess we're taking our long rest, right, guys?
Right.
Right.
Yep.
I guess
Oh.
that settles it.
I was. You probably haven't realized I went away for like 10 minutes and came back.
Oh,
Fair enough.
that's actually a good thing, don't you think? When the players don't need the dungeon master and are just role playing together.
Yeah, he needed a break. He took his 10-minute break, so now he comes back refreshed and ready to kick our asses.
Oh yeah. So this is how
Wisdom
you
saving throw?
like Kron, you know, this is how you die.
Yep, at least we got a nice meal, and I got to describe their bedrooms before we're dead.
No, but without without
Prayers
any
are due.
without any problem, without any hesitation, the night goes swimmingly without any problems.
Yay, no dreams. For once.
Eh. Yeah, as you kind of have a very nice bath meal, wake up in the same bed, not in the state of panic, not in the state of shock. Everything is nice.
Now I have a feeling that Trugmar's the thing giving us nightmares. Fuck that city. Kidding. And again.
So it's you assume morning. So what would you like to do?
Well, first I realized that I've been sleeping with only a towel. So I'm actually gonna go get my clothing back now.
Your clothing is in a nice folded pile immediately outside your door.
Ooh. Pick that up. Bath towel.
You'll
fall-
notice that it smells slightly of lavender.
Flowers. Grabs it, towel falls, retreats back in the room, so on and so forth.
Cork, are there any other kinds of rooms in this place, or is there only the bath and the personal rooms?
There's the bath, the personal rooms. There's a kitchen. There's a private washroom area that also contains a small bath area, but like personal deal. There's a laundry room / like facilities room. That's all I had programmed in so far. I had the request for a garden and something else. Sand pits for bathing for the birds. That's right. Well, the avian individuals.
Then Ira has probably waken quite early this morning.
3 is an early bird.
And has wandered around this entire place, seeing what there is to see.
Mm-hmm.
There's an area, a landing on the second floor opposite all the bedrooms that's just kind of like railed off as an observation area. You'll notice too that the sky matches roughly the time of day. So if it's morning, then you're watching like a sunrise, but it's not the sunrise from outside. It's a ostentatious, over the top, imaginary representation of the most ridiculous sunrise you've ever seen.
So overly glittery, overly orange and golden, and will not hurt your eyes.
Yeah, ultra vivid.
Wow.
You're watching somebody's super Photoshop rendering of the craziest sunrise that they've been able to ever make.
Oh boy.
Fucking luxury.
Then that is where Ira is right now.
Looking at
Also,
this
another
masterpiece.
suggestion: a place where we could fly about, just for.
I'm pretty sure it's basically open sky, isn't it?
Well, the open sky goes up to a certain area. There
But
are
just
limits to the size of the spell.
like a training area kind of thing, where we could just practice maneuvering and all that stuff, just to keep in shape like that.
You know, I have a feeling I really want to challenge Odar to a fly race. What? It'd be fun.
Yeah, and right now Ira has placed her incense burner beside her or in her lap, and she's slowly talking to it in a quiet voice.
Mm.
Going down to the kitchen, gonna piss off the servants. You know what I'm making. Waffles!
Well, a performance check, I guess.
Yep. Yeah. Getting up from chair. Okay. But before performance comes the inspiration and the other thingamajiggy. Okay, that's two. And
No, it's a D12. Shit.
yeah, it's a D12 now. So 16 plus 7. So that's 23, I think. Yeah. 36.
Yeah. You make awesome pancakes and waffles.
With added bacon on the side because I know Quirk likes bacon.
Fair.
More than fair, actually.
Fucking awesome!
Darth, I'm doing the math. Looking at the dimensions, technically the sky is only 10 feet above us, and it's all an illusion. Because it can only make this thing about 30 feet tall.
Amazing. Also, I just realized now I understand why you ran away, Quirk. If that
But it
dragon
can
smelled,
have, but it can have a basement, right?
No, it's all based on the number of 10 by 10 cubes.
huh? Fun.
Is how big I can make the extra dimensional space.
Okay. Also, I understand why you hid, Quirk. If that dragon smelled your pocket bacon, you're toast.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there were a lot of reasons. He was like, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. I really don't want to be here. I am not liking any of this. And eventually, once he saw what happened to Ira, he was like, yep, nope, bye.
I mean, it was a giant child, but then again, children like to put things in their mouth, so I can understand the stress.
True that.
Thinking about it was kind of funny but terrifying. Okay, so after all this stuff with the waffles, I almost fucked up. I'm serving it on the table. I guess whatever table there is, if there is any dining room.
That would be right next to the bath, like in the big main primary area where there was already tables full of food and stuff piled up, which are once again refreshed. But there's empty space on the table for you to place your stuff too.
Nice. And I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have. Yeah, I'm gonna play a little morning, like a waking up lullaby, just in case people are not awake. Yeah, just to inform that the food is ready. Technically,
Waking up lullaby.
I'm pretty sure there are soft tunes that is perfect for waking up.
Yeah.
Heavy metal.
Yep. And what I love about inspiration is that it refreshes on short rests, small moments of inactivity, so that's easy to get back. Oh, that's a 10. 4, That's a 2.
Is the DM around? Or have we lost him again?
No. Well, yes.
Yes, but no.
Okay.
But wait, there's more.
Yeah.
Oh wait, there's more.
Geez.
28. 20 plus 28. That's gonna be fun. 43.
Hell
With the
yeah.
waking up song.
Yay. Let me. God damn it.
20 fun.
You know what they say about overdoing it. Come on, bro.
Oh, I'm a bard. I'm all about overdoing it.
True. True. But yeah. Everybody's awake. I mean, there's only 5 of you.
As far as we know.
Ding, ding, ding.
Maybe. Shut the fuck up.
Sorry.
There. So,
Bum, bum, bum.
having your food and your breakfast done, I guess you're gonna. Anything else in the mansion you wanna do before heading out?
Nah, that very much covers it, boss.
Yep. Everything's covered.
As far as I'm aware, yeah.
Well. Who's gonna first step out?
Me.
So, the first thing when the door opens is an intense gust of blizzard.
It's like, is it intense enough to take me off my feet because of my wings?
No. But you are met to a dark sky still, and a few inches of snow as far as everybody can see, as it's now snowing outside.
I'm putting my coat. I'm putting my coat of comfort. I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't like this.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Well, this looks like proper shit.
Is it snow that you can make snowballs out of?
Huh?
Or is it soft
No.
snow?
Soft snow. It's despite how the wind is harsh. The wind is harsh, but it's not freezing cold. It's just it would probably be just cold if it wasn't for the shitty wind. But yeah. That's how the air looks outside. It's still dark.
In Sweden, we have about 40 different words for snow.
Shit. So, I'm gonna head out.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it depends, how well equipped is everybody for cold weather gear?
Oh, I have my coat of comfort.
Yeah, you do, but
I don't think
Hogarth, have
Griselda
you
does.
ever had to deal with winter?
Griselda.
What does the Feywild have winter?
Well, Hodar does it.
I mean, at one point, probably. Somewhere in there. I would imagine so.
Do I still have the boar skin, like the boar fur, the one we hunted?
Oh my god.
So owls are pretty.
Yeah. No,
Well
you
insulated.
actually don't, because you left it to to. No, you have not. So.
I mean, I didn't take it apart fully, so I guess we still have this skin somewhere empty of meat. You know what, Quirk? Mind helping
me with something?
What do you need?
I take out the still half cleaned up boar carcass. So
Is how old and been sitting in what kind of bag?
a bag of holding. Wait a
Regular
second.
bag of holding.
Was it a regular bag of holding, or did I get
For
that
how many
magic?
days?
I think it's 2 at this point. Yeah, I take it out in the snow.
Let's
I'm
just
just gonna
let's
work
just,
it.
let's just say it does not look appetizing as you see maggots.
How did maggots get in there? In the bag of holding.
That's for you to understand. Roll me a medicine check.
Okay.
While we're doing that,
Okay, just that and then this.
I love the fact that the three is just like any roll that he needs to make is like, yeah, just let me just bardic inspiration.
Yep. That's 7, so that's
Keeping track how many of those you've got, right?
Yep.
Good on you. Betting your charisma as we
30.
donk.
Oh my god.
It is fun. 36, sorry.
You notice that there's maggots, and you're like, wait a minute, how? Like, it does not have air. Or does it? Because maggots don't need a lot of air to fester.
Yeah, but if it's been there long enough, it's more than 10 minutes.
Maggots don't need as much air, like, at all.
Well,
10 minutes for a medium-sized creature. Multiple days for a creature less than a few millimeters.
I didn't say that the
Wow.
maggots were alive.
Are the maggots alive?
Some.
That's troubling. Anyways, just a second. I press the digitation all the rot away, and I'm taking and I
There's you cannot do that on rot.
really
No.
can I clean off the
Like,
maggots?
Prestidigitation the rot away, and you're left with like nothing.
Essentially, yeah.
Ah, dang it. You know what? I'm just gonna leave that there instead. I'm
In film.
Like you
not letting that. Yeah. You know what? Never mind. Grizzy, we'll have to deal with the cold until we find some game to make a coat out of. But
that's
then
fine.
again,
I mean, we
Okay,
really don't
so-
have to. This spell lasts for another. We've only been in here for like 10 hours. We've got like 12 left. You can just wait and see where the storm's at in 5 hours.
I mean, all those who continue the quest and fly out, and all those who are wanting to stay, do make your mind.
I mean, here's my
Before we
question.
do that, I'd like to do a few things. Give me just a second.
Hmm?
Fair enough. We're gonna go hunt kobolds, right? Is that a hugely time-pressing thing?
We're not killing the kobolds, we're helping the kobolds.
Fair. Is that a time-pressing thing?
I mean, we should try to save at least the ones that are still alive. So I guess we are sort of on a time press.
So I'm going to cast. I'm going to do Druid Craft and the sensory to know what the weather's going to be like within the next 24 hours.
Yes.
Lovely. Access?
Do you know how do you get the response?
Usually, if I remember correctly, it's a little floaty orb appears in his hand that represents what the weather's going to be like.
Harmless sensory effect that predicts the weather will be at your location for the next 24 hours. As a gold, or it's like gold orbs, clear skies, clouds, rain,
it
snow.
shows that it should be clear skies from now to the end of 24 hours, despite being in the midst of a blizzard.
I mean, this
Fascinating.
is magical. That as obvious as it is.
Can Ira use shape water to manipulate snow that's floating down? Reaxis?
Hmm?
Can you?
Can I-
Can you shape water? That's interesting. Since it's magical,
Yeah.
I wonder what it'll do.
Can I use shape water on the blizzard snow?
Okay. To do what?
Just animate it flowing around her a bit, just playing around,
Yeah. I mean,
making interesting shapes.
interestingly enough, it's like as you make the snow into water, you see like the very like outer layers of that water is just kind of freeze for a moment and just kind of eventually just bit by bit you lose all the snow that you manifest back into just ice.
Sparkly.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's going to do that. Good. Just walking around, taking a few steps. Yeah, basically having fun in the snow.
So enjoy yourself. I'm gonna watch and see how long she can do that before the effects of the cold decide to start nipping at her. Research.
Anyways, I say we go. We're going to go into a cave anyways, and I'm pretty sure that we're going to approach at any time now. We are near mountains.
Is it good flying weather though? That's the thing.
No, it's a blizzard, and one of us for sure doesn't have cold weather gear.
We
I
can
mean,
walk.
if I may suggest, we might be able to transform ourselves into various creatures adapted for the cold.
Oh, that's a good idea. Okay, who's going to be the bear? Or the elk or whatever?
Let's see. I'm thinking cold
Griselda
weather
shouts,
thing.
"Can you make me a mammoth?"
Looks
Are
at
we able
Griselda.
to at this point in time?
Level wise?
Are you asking me this?
Yeah, well, we're asking.
Well, just in general.
Isn't
'Cause
there
I don't
a,
know
a
how.
limit
Really
to
know.
polymorph?
I
I really
mean,
don't know how
I-
polymorph works, to be honest.
if I remember, Poly works
If we know what the
half.
creature is, we're definitely above the CR2. So
Yeah,
if we know what a mammoth is, then yes.
I mean, yeah, you know what the fuck a mammoth is.
Yes.
And you don't
Yep.
know what a Quetzal is.
I don't.
We don't need to. You need to. Now, just get it over with. Mammoth will be enough.
I'm playing it, by the way, is that Cork hasn't seen dinosaurs because I'm guessing where he's at, there aren't just random fuck off dinosaurs running around. Right,
Anyways,
DM? Are dinosaurs prolific in Trogmar or the Empire of Thor?
There's only one place in the Empire where prehistorical lizards exist, and that's in the Zigguratars.
Swamps?
Yeah, in the swamps of Zigguratars.
where Rog lives. Well,
Lived.
used to live. Lived, yeah.
That's
Fair
basically.
enough. So yeah, he's never been there. He's never seen a dinosaur. He never probably he may have referenced them in books, but that's not been what interested him. So yeah, as far as he's concerned, Quetzalcoatlus is some sort of sneeze.
Hodarth, do you... What's a mammoth? Free, never seen one.
Yeah. Oh, those big beasts.
Is
But
it
I
good for
wasn't-
this weather?
Oh, definitely.
I guess we have our match then.
Alright. Should anybody know the walking speed of a mammoth?
40.
40?
It can easily carry all of us. Easily.
Easily. So you're gonna take a mammoth ride?
I just want to double check a little bit more here.
I'm pretty sure everybody agreed that you could do it.
I'll be right
I'd have to
back.
I'd have to poly instead of druid.
Someone's at the door. Give me a second.
I mean, Griselda openly stated, "Make me into a mammoth." So, just
Yeah.
once Raxus is back, just make the NPC Grizz into a mammoth. For some reason, I feel like accelerating the pace of the game, but that's just me.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, so
Good.
sometimes I find
Yeah.
myself a bit rude, like wanting to speed things up.
I'm okay with it. I
Well, I've
concur.
been debating on whether or not I waste my 8th level slot for control weather, but I think it's only a 5-mile radius.
I mean, if you want to attract attention, sure.
Yeah, mammoths should do just fine.
This
Yeah.
might not be weather.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure it's an actual spell from that dragon, or an area of effect from
So-
its presence.
I don't suppose anybody has passed without a trace, though.
Okay. Speaking of
You
harsh.
don't need to.
Speaking of harsh winds. I'm sorry that I cut off. But
It's okay.
a fucking stick flew into the door and rang the doorbell. There's like a giant branch now at the entrance of to the house.
Yeah. I just stopped playing around and started becoming more serious.
Yeah, Ira's house
Okay.
died. So, does she see anything?
Oh no!
Uh,
Oh no! I was talking about myself. I was talking about myself in real life. That's why it went away because a door.
Are you fucking
Aha.
kidding me?
Okay.
Are you absolutely... You're shit.
a tree knocked at your door. Now that's funny.
No. There's every house has a ring bell. All of a sudden I hear a ring bell. That's why it went away. I go down and I see a massive fucking branch pressed against the thing. The wind just fucking chucked it at the fucking door and hit the fucking doorbell.
That's a sign.
I was gonna say, when did Quirk put a doorbell on the mansion?
I didn't think there was one. That's
No,
why I was
no,
like,
no.
okay, so is he taking DM liberty here and saying there's a doorbell now?
No.
Okay. Anyways,
You okay with
I
that?
think we're gonna go for the mammoth, right, Hodar?
Yes, of course.
Without any further ado,
All right. After a little bit, poof, Grizz into a mammoth.
So, now question about this weather. How does one... I would like everybody to roll me survival, because you gotta need to navigate through the fucking blizzard.
And it's concentration.
survival, right?
Yeah?
I'm just gonna use guidance for this one, as I don't want to use all my bardic inspiration.
Cooking, bardic inspiration, surviving, going through the tundra blind. Ah, dude.
Cooking food that is much more important.
They're cooking food on top of Grizz. Oh my god. Oh, that'd be funny.
Oh no, natural one.
We can burn Grizz. Okay, so that's a 3, so that's a 10.
23.
23 as well.
Holy shit.
23 buddies.
Yay!
Quirk, I'm guessing you're not gonna roll survival.
I'm just not in the mood to survive.
I mean, you have a coat.
I
You
will
also
survive.
you're like me. You also have that the coat of comfort, and you have boots.
Yeah.
Unlike me, because no shoe's gonna fit these things.
Alrighty, so with that being said and done, I would like one of you to roll me a d10. Cause you think you're going the right way, but are you? Are you?
Quirk, do you want to risk it,
No.
or should we just not risk it?
But like, that's the
For the
problem.
biscuit.
It's unfun.
That's the problem though. If he, let's see,
Okay, did he get an encounter? That's what I want to know.
One.
Biscuit
motherfucker,
Oh
motherfucker, roll me a
He
roll me a d10.
God damn it! He got an encounter again. Oh, we shouldn't have risked it.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I don't
wait
know
a
why you
minute.
told him to.
Wait a minute. Roll me 4 d10s.
Oh no, I'm worried.
Okay, 24. Hell yeah. So, as you're stomping along the track, I would like everybody to roll me a perception check.
God damn it! It was a bad idea to ask Quirk.
Hey, can you make like literally?
Not saying it's not fun. I love it.
Okay.
25.
So, Holdart, stomping an hour through the blizzard, and you knowing that what's it called? Griselda's mouth form was gonna fade. You look around for somewhere, a shelter that you can, cast again, and you realize that the surrounding area that you're walking on is just ice, but it's not regular ice. As you see, it has this like cone form, like somebody placed it, or 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 more specific, like something made it into this specific form. As you realize, looking from each side of this formation, that there are a bunch of goblins that are frozen in it.
Ooh, goblins.
Do we go to it?
I mean, you're passing to it. You just realize that there's like this
Most definitely.
formation. No, there's a formation that you're walking on, and in that formation, there are encased goblins.
Okay, we're walking on top of goblins.
Essentially, yes. And they're all literally just like
Oh.
mid pose, doing whatever they were doing.
This is not natural.
Hey, Ira, do you mind carving one out for me?
I mean, you
With
don't
your,
need.
with your water?
I can try. Shape water.
I'm going to try and see if I can recall or see if there would I know anything about anything that would be able to do such a thing.
History with advantage.
I use shape water to carve one of them up.
Let's see if they're still alive.
No, they're not.
Well, that's unfortunate. I'm looking in the ice now, shuffling a bit of snow away to see if they had any treasure.
21.
Give me a oh yeah. Immediately you recognize the pattern. And you're like, ah yes, an ancient white dragon could do that. And then the realization hits you.
I turn to Free. It's like, what kind of scales did you see in the mountain?
Scales? No, I
Yesterday.
definitely saw a dragon.
What color?
It was very far and only a silhouette. To me, it looked black, but It was definitely a dragon.
There might be one or two. There might be two, or at least two on this mountain.
I do hope that it's not one of the dragons of the north.
Well, given this thing, it looks like the work of a white dragon.
Wait. Did I hear of a white dragon in the north though?
No.
What
What are
other
you?
color was there? No, because I don't know. I remember something about a
You
different color
no.
dragon in black.
Grey Grok remembers. Shut.
Oh,
Shut.
okay. Sorry, I got mixed up. I'm very sorry. Didn't mean to do that. It's been a while, okay?
Mhm.
Now you remind me. Thank you. Nope, not a clue. Eesh. Um, hmm. Do I find anything? Do these goblins appear to have any sort of valuables on them?
Uh.
Yeah, I'll burn a detect magic. That sounds fun.
Well, you see that the whole ice just glistens with evocation magic. Additionally, the goblins are coated in it slightly, but don't have anything of it. So yeah.
You know what? No, he's not smart enough to put together what's going on here.
Oh, I suggest we keep moving.
Oh, definitely. They don't appear to have anything
If
valuable on
somebody
them.
would be so kind to use polymorph to turn Griselda back into a mammoth, that would be great, so that I can pass without a trace for us. I think
All
we need
right.
to be a bit more subtle in our movements.
Since I just
Yeah.
saw a mammoth, being Griselda having been one, I think I can cast
But
polymorph, right?
no, hold on. You probably should just hold on to your spell slots. I'm pretty sure I can do that more times than you.
Oh, okay. Fair
Plus,
enough.
it gives me the opportunity to do another thing. A little trick here. Anyway, so polymorph on Griselda, turn her into a mammoth. That burns a 4th level slot. Then I'm going to cast telepathic bond on everybody, which, if I'm correct, is a divination spell, which gets me back my 4th level slot.
Hell yeah.
Wow.
He's thinking for all of you.
Yeah, telepathic bond isn't a concentration spell, is it?
Nope.
Very nice. Very nice.
That is perfect.
And then I
For
cast
the
Pass
next 1
Without a
hour, we
Trace.
can all speak telepathically. And yeah, it is a divination spell. So since I burnt my 5th level slot, I can get a 4th level slot back.
Hell yeah.
Divination wizards are broke.
And Pass Without a Trace, and then we're going to try and swiftly but stealthily move. So,
I think it's gonna be my turn again to roll a d10 once that's up.
Yeah.
I mean, anything else you like?
As
I'm just sad the goblins are frozen because I speak goblin.
what
Yeah.
I'm going to do is after Pass Without a Trace, I'm going to shapeshift into a dire wolf as well.
Nice. Don't know why, but nice.
yeah, as you move, you hear Ira speak telepathically. Isn't this weather kind of nice, though?
I
Comforting.
mean, it's pretty, but ugh.
Roll me a d10 then, please.
I used to spend a lot of time by myself, and spend a whole lot of time in weather kind of like this. So honestly, I'm not particularly against it. He says from inside his ridiculously ornate winter jacket. We're talking like top end name brand parka.
Oh.
I think it would another encounter.
Oh.
Fucking hope not.
Oh.
Oh, I also want to add that laughing.
Everybody. Everybody. Group stealth check.
Ooh.
Oh no.
This is not even roll your
And we
adventure.
all have pass without trace, so it's an additional +10.
Oh, good job on that. Oh my god.
Wow.
It's
Wow,
plus
that's
10.
I knew
preemptive.
damn well what I was doing.
Okay, so +10 on stealth for everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
And
your
I-
So in addition
modifiers.
to what you have. Not a D10.
Okay,
plus-
okay,
like straight
okay,
+10.
okay. I'm just
Yeah,
saying
so
you.
that gives me 16.
It's a group, and you need to beat DC 25. Go. Oh my god.
I think I do.
And I assume
I'm pretty sure I do it without fail there.
I'm literally.
because-
You know what? You know what? I'm giving inspiration to.
Oh.
Nat 20. Okay, I'm giving
I have a
guidance.
plus
No,
14.
no,
to
you
stealth
be
damage.
even
Ogres
even
also
if
do
I
another
rolls a
14.
natural one, you automatically succeed. Like you automatically succeed because you three have already. Yeah, you succeed. So
I got a freaking
all of a sudden, traversing additional hour through the
Very nice.
blizzard, you all of a sudden feel this like the wind is blowing, but suddenly it just stops and occasionally just quickly just snaps to a different location, like just unnaturally so. And then you hear it, a roar above. As you look above with the roar, you just see a massive white wing, just kind of cut the clouds in half, as it's like gliding and just kind of starts to descend above the clouds. You immediately, all of you just immediately just kind of. Immediately, yeah.
Get out.
Holdart is like immediately just like, get Mammoth gone. Yeah.
Fucking go.
As you see the the dragon returns below the cloud, and you see this large ancient white dragon that you assume is maybe at least 400 feet long, just kind of flies below the clouds and just kind of just lets out a breath of a breath and just kind of just lays a cone of ice somewhere in close proximity before going back into the skies. So, for the following hour, you just
Don't let me roll again.
For the following hour, you basically are walking slowly and carefully in the blizzard, and occasionally just stopping when you start to hear the familiar roars of a dragon as it's looking for something in this vicinity, and occasionally just going below the clouds, is just using his breath attack against random patches in the ground. None of them are close to you. The closest like 400, 300 feet away from you. And you can just see that whatever the breath, like the range lasts for a few hundred feet. As you see these heavy snow heavy grasses are just basically frozen in time by this ice.
I swear if we start seeing lightning from the point, I'm gonna say, nope.
But yeah, hour passes. The dragon is somewhere, but hey, you haven't seen in the past 10 minutes. Quite a different take from the bronze, isn't it?
Damn it.
So, with that being said and done, I would like you to roll me another D10. As
Ira, you roll it. Roll it.
as you realize that you're slowly like you did walk up and down because you felt the slopes, but now in the past few minutes you've just been walking straight up, like not like climbing, but like there's like a angle, and it's not like going down. As you see, the road is just going higher and higher. So you probably reached one of the mountains already. So
Oh God.
D10, D10.
It's
Come on,
gonna be
Yeehaw.
Ira. You
jinxed.
have better luck.
Hopefully.
There's a silence.
Roll me a D6.
Oh God.
Do I want?
I think it's a friendly encounter.
Okay. So, traversing through the cold and through the thing for about 40 minutes. All of a sudden, you just see, like, you're literally in a blizzard. It's cold biting. Occasionally in the behind you hear a distant dragon's roar. And all of a sudden, just walking through this blizzard, you just see the end of it. As you walk higher up, and you just walk below the clouds. As you turn back, you just see you just literally are like in the cloud area, just head about the clouds. You look back, it's just clouds as far to see. You look up, you see the clear skies with occasional cloud. You're all under another cloud entirely. And in the distance, you see a very large white ancient dragon still flying around, maybe 3-4 miles away, circling specific spot in the clouds, occasionally descending, and the familiar roar hits you.
So, are we technically seeing what we would assume is a whale, like jumping out of the sea, but in the clouds?
No, more like a seagull who's like circling down for a prey and then going into the water for a moment and snapping back.
Just thinking of a giant ice-breathing seagull. Oh, seagulls are assholes.
So looking at this mountainous path, you see there's a very poor road. Like you see that there's like a note of a road or path that leads upward, and it's not like straight as an arrow. It has its twists and turns, and eventually you just need to go to the side as the road leads because it's too steep otherwise. And the road seems like it hasn't been used for decades, if not centuries. So yeah, you're slowly making up the mountain. You like literally are maybe 3/4 of a mile above ground, and you literally are like looking behind you. Literally see that there's another just cloudy area. So with that being said and done, everybody, group stealth check.
I hate this. Is the
And-
thing still up?
No. An hour has already passed.
Oh,
Yeah.
Wait, does it?
After trace is 1 hour, I think.
Did I count as a short rest at any point?
No.
Okay, just making sure.
Oh shit.
Natural 20.
Woo.
You know, can I at least give myself guidance?
No, this is not a guidance thing. This is.
Oh, dang it. Okay. Fine.
Oh my god, everybody's fucking giga chatting again. Okay, 22, 22, 24, and 8. Wait, that would be 30, 52.
Don't forget Griseldi.
I'm rolling for Griselda. She's gonna roll for herself. So, despite panicking Harpy that is free, you're not noticed by the ancient white dragon in the distance. As you're making your way up the mountain, and you basically realize that just like you're slow but surely making your way and gaining altitude. Looking back, you realize there's like a good like 20, 30 miles, if not more, of just this storm manifested, making it a hunting ground for this white dragon, if it's even it's doing. Um, but besides that, did somebody roll a d10?
Hodart.
Yep.
Hold on.
6.
6 was the friendly encounter before.
Let's see.
With your all passive perceptions as you make another half hour into the inclination, and you see that this is like a place to where civilization was, but like this road has been abandoned for good reason if this is the local climate, because you see like rusted, broken down tools, carts, settlements and outposts that were there, but they're just nothing but just bare husks of their former selves. And then, with all your past perceptions, in the middle of the road, well, this road is like maybe 40 feet wide, but it's like a bunch of boulders because there's probably been avalanches, like rock collapse and the like. You just see a goat in the middle of the road. The goat is maybe 4 foot tall, about 5, 6 foot long. Head is like entirely of black fur and has these pearl-like horns. As it just observes you, as it observes you coming up, and eventually you just see it in front of you. As it kind of just.
The Harpy is very, very interested in the goat.
I think this is hardly the time or place for that, Rod.
As it just goes and
Getting-
says, "Ah." What would you like to do?
I'm going to look at my companions and say, would it be a bad time for getting a new ingredient?
Very much so. If you ask me,
I don't think I ain't again it.
we are technically cold cone away from an ancient white dragon.
I cast sleep on the goat.
At what level?
I think I'm gonna go for second level at the
Don't you
very
think
least.
it's concerning that he asked what level?
Yes, it is actually.
To what level?
Second at the.
Roll dice.
I mean, heck,
It auto saves. Legendary action.
just a second. I think it.
It's
Give me my freaking. Okay, so when you cast a spell, however, those additional 2d8. Okay, so it's 5, 6, 7 d8.
Wait, what level are you casting?
Second level, and it gives me
No,
lot of
it's,
D8.
7 d8.
is it? I thought
Yeah,
it's. I thought,
for each level
It really
higher,
is.
it's 1d8. Oh, wait a second.
well, yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. It's 2d8s per higher level.
So 3d8.
No,
You're
it's
5d8
5d8 starts. It starts at 5d8.
5d8 plus
Sleep?
2.
level
Yeah.
1 sleep.
Wait.
I'm looking right at it.
So how many? Yeah, that's
Okay. Roll 2.
33.
You see the goat just go bah as the sleep takes no effect.
It has no effect.
It has no effect.
Is that even a normal goat?
I can find out for you real quick.
Did you just cast what I think you cast? And no, it's not a normal goat.
I
Cast
mean, it's not a harming effect.
speak with animals.
What happened?
You just hear greetings.
Let's see. Well, hello there.
Cold weather we having.
Yes.
I'm just right over Griselda's head, looking intently at the goat.
You hear a bunch of mash and all that, and whispers like, do you have any? We're in a destroyed little village, right? The top of the mountain, right?
Well, here's the thing. Each like you're basically going zigzags, like just going one path and going doing 180 and just slowly but surely making your way up. And in each like zigzag, like in each like 180 turn, there's like a few buildings that were there. Some of them were inside like a small cave that is like either collapse and break it down. And yeah, you basically meet like by one of the like 180 points as you're like exiting this like this whole like like the general vicinity is like literally two buildings that are basically missing 80% of their components and just a bunch of stone, snow, rocks, and this goat just kind of standing there and just looking blankly at you.
I turn to the I have established a connection. Do we need to ask this thing anything?
Where's the kobold cave? And also, is it a magical goat?
Okay, I'm gonna turn towards like, you wouldn't happen to see any sort of cave with a bunch of weird lizard-looking fellows, would you? In this vicinity?
You just hear him say, "Ah, an ancient race of kobolds dug too deep, unearthed an artifact most sacred and most heinous, and now they're paying the price."
This goat knows too
You-
much. I don't like it.
You can't hear it.
I know that I can't hear it. That's the thing.
And you, after a little bit, he's like, "You're not a normal goat, are you?"
Ah. He literally says "bah," even though you can understand.
Then what are you?
Devout servant of Bahamut. Bah.
I'm going to turn around, so I, with the concerned look in my eyes. Do we still have the telepathy?
It lasts for 1 hour, then no.
No.
I'm bashing my head on my table just enough to not break
mouth.
it.
I mouth. Baphomet. Does anyone really read no words?
I'm pretty sure I don't know what Baphomet is. I didn't read into Demon Lore, did I?
Roll me a religion.
While we're doing
Yeah,
that,
can I
it's like,
roll
is,
religion too?
is this somehow
Sure.
tied? Is this the type of artifact that they dug up? Is this to Baphomet?
No.
What was it again? Religion?
Religion. Oh my god. You're like mesmerized that the goat just invoked the wrath.
25.
So
I'm
you know
Bahamut
Bahamut is a demon prince. He's a goat man looking motherfucker. very powerful. Favorite champions being the Baylors and Minotaurs.
You want to know what's funny? As soon as you said black goat, I instantly meant to. Oh look, devil imagery, but just as a joke to myself.
I just imagine Hodar's reaction to basically figuring out that it's a servant of Bahamut is literally like that. Look how calm this owl is. Looks at the owl. The owl just fucking looks at you badly. So send help.
It's like. So, well, then, two questions. One, do you know what this artifact is? And two, if it's not to do with Bahamut, then why is a follower one of them for it? Here, per se.
Is he saying that to us?
No, to the
Talking
goat.
to the goat. Okay.
I'm still talking to the goat.
No. As he says, for the artifact predates your arrival upon this cursed continent, left behind its previous masters. As for the latter, you just all see the fucking goat's neck just go 360, snap back into the same position, and it looks back at you, Hodar, with blood red eyes. Keep your own business where it should be. Face spawn.
Did he just say mind your own fucking business?
Basically.
It could be interpreted in multiple ways.
Duly noted. Anyways, thank you for the information. Now, if you could point us to said cave, that would be wonderful.
He either told you to mind your own business, or he told you to focus on your task at hand. All a matter of interpretation.
You basically see the goat like looks at you intently, and you start to see the legs start to wobble as it just kind of collapses face forward, dead.
I can't. Is it actually dead?
Are you gonna touch it?
No. No, that was most insightful. Quite a few interesting things this realm, I must say.
What happened?
Never thought I'd meet somebody, a servant of Baphomet, on this mountain, but there you are.
I am. Is it?
Oh, Matt.
Wait. Could I have cast a soul cage as a reaction, or no?
Do you
No,
wanna?
never mind, it's a bad idea. Never mind.
Probably
never
a
mind.
bad idea.
Yeah, it's a bad idea. Never mind.
Okay. Next time I'm gonna say something like that, I'm gonna immediately say that you did it, because that's gonna be fun.
God.
Okay.
Oh no!
Apparently, the kobolds dug too deep and unearthed a powerful ancient relic of some sort.
I'm sorry, it's a bad idea, but I have to do it. She kind of flutters a bit towards the goat, just poking it with a stick or any long thing she has.
Basically see from every orifice there's like a slight pool of blood just kind of emerging, but besides that it looks like a normal goat.
Just gonna poke it with a knife, just trying.
You poke it with you poke it with a knife. The knife is now slightly covered in blood at the tip.
So,
I'm
more of a
looking.
possession.
I'm looking from side to side, and I'm taking the goat's head. Listen, I have a fascination for skulls. Don't judge me.
Hey, man, whatever floats your boat. I ain't judging.
Getting an interesting act there. That'll be fun to see how that shakes out. But you know what? You do you.
Yeah.
Do you honestly think it wise to grab the head of something that was just, for more or less,
No,
possessed
please, let
by
him.
a savior of the, or representative of the demon, one of the demon lords.
Oh, please, let her do this.
Listen. I know it's. I already said it's probably a bad idea. Now, I put the hit in the bag. Let's keep
Okay.
going before something else pops up.
Okay.
So, we keeping going?
Yes.
Another
Hopefully
D.
that hit.
Another D10.
Uh,
My turn.
I don't want. Oh no!
We're all gonna die. Oh, look at that.
Did he not get an encounter?
Have I broken the curse? Is the cycle come to an
I've
end?
broken the quest.
I would like everybody to roll perception check.
Fuck!
Hey,
Just
you
kidding.
know what?
So at this point, you're just
19.
traversing the. You're getting altitude surely, and it's just
Already 20.
it's less of a it's no longer plains for a while. It's like literally mountainous with occasional wildlife snuck between the edges, and it's mostly snow. So first one to spot it is Ira. Ira, you're still making the same pathway, and it's been like a good 40 minutes since the goat incident, and all of a sudden you just have this notion that something is off. You look up, and you see there's like a small little snowball just rolling down, uh, off the mountainside. And you see more start to roll.
She turns back to the others and say, "Run! This is boulders, snowballs."
Snowballs.
No, we're talking snowballs. They're literally the size of a snowball. You just see them all rolling off
I
the.
imagine like Indiana Jones
Yeah.
kind of thing. Okay, I
Do we do we see it at this point?
Yes, you would.
apologize.
Yeah, you
Wait a
just.
second. If the snow starts to fall, I look further up. Is there an
Hilarious.
avalanche coming?
Indeed, it is.
Okay, then Ira does say that.
Let's keep going. Hurry!
What are you gonna do? Because you're like you're quiet.
Run out of the way. Let's get out of the way.
How?
Wait a second. Wait a
Run
second.
away.
Quick. If your magic mansion, can it shield us? Can it shelter us from this avalanche?
Give me just a second here.
If the doorway
How
is
long does
facing
it
the other
take
way.
to cast, though?
Well, to put in perspective, you're literally walking like this pathway, like zigzagging the pathway up. There's not exactly a way to just quickly ascend or descend, but there are like how to say this, shelter just by the walls as they have been like carved in a bit. So
So we can hide. Okay.
Jesus. I mean, listen.
Um,
we could do the
I-
flying bit,
Give me
but
a second here to decide what I can do to help us, because I got a few options.
I also have dimension door. The same. I can also summon rocks. Oh, conjure rocks.
I have a lot to look for. Oh,
Wait.
wait. That's spell.
Oh, you know what? How much time does it take me to summon conjure a rock? To create a rock?
10 minutes.
Well,
Dang
like
it. Never mind.
work found something.
Okay, I've got an idea. I just need. What's the biggest thing around?
mountain?
Yeah,
I
like
mean, with a quick little spell, I can make Griselda the biggest thing.
I mean, aren't they already a mammoth?
Nope.
1
No,
hour
it only
duration.
has an hour duration. It
Oh,
ended
right.
a while ago.
Hmm. How about one of us becomes one of those big fishes in the ocean?
Well,
The
let's
ones the
see
size of the
what
ship.
Cork has in mind.
Okay, there's a lot going on. That's concentration. That's not concentration. Fuck it. We'll see what this does. Fifth level wall of stone, creating a shielded overhang in the direction uphill, followed up with a. Let me pick the right level here. Sixth level immovable object on that wall of stone. So it can now bear an additional 20,000 pounds of weight.
I love that.
I basically just big rock shield, magically reinforced.
Everybody behind the big rock shield.
Okay.
Beneath.
So, in a matter of
Possibly near one of those outcroppings,
so-
the
That's what
indents.
he
Yeah.
said. It is.
So-
It is an
If
outcrop.
I have time, I'll try to do it in one of the outcroppings. So, like,
yeah.
kind of close us off.
So, in a rather a minute or so, from basically Ira noticing the snowballs, you also suddenly hear the vibration as like a sudden slew of snow, just like you know that fucking just like yeah, it's kind of sunny, it's like clear skies and all that. All of a sudden, just white. And the whole fucking chamber that you're in is like slowly but surely just is filled with a bunch of like snow, like not like to like filling you up, but like just like a bunch of like dust of snow. As
The flurry.
yeah, as you just hear this like sudden shake as like it's like the whole fucking mountain so just fucking goes down. And in less than 10 seconds, all of you come back to like the clear skies, and you look around and see most of the snow is like just kind of gone. Um, as like there's a few like bits and pieces of snow just still falling, but everything is just going downwards. But besides that, you're alive. You survived.
How long does it take specifically for the time? You know what? No, I'm just gonna leave it up.
Okay.
'Cause
So
I'm gonna say we got 10 minutes. So at some point during the snow coming down, I'm gonna say if I leave this wall up for 10 minutes, it doesn't go away. But if I take it down, we'll probably be crushed by snow.
You don't need to take it away, but also what now once the snow has passed, which I believe it has, I'm just gonna peek over.
yeah, you see basically clear skies, and you see a lot less snow above, except for your little piece that has maybe like 10, 12 feet of snow just stuck in this awkward angle. But besides that, most of the mountainside is like you see a lot of just like where snow used to be, just no snow.
Okay. Who else votes for going up that side of the mountain so we don't get another avalanche? Hello?
I don't think we have much choice. We need to follow the path.
Sure. Fine. Also, you might want to get out from under there. There's still a lot of snow on top.
These 3 steps out.
Is it like a climb out situation? Is it like just a step out situation? Like,
Yeah, it's literally a step out. Like there's like of course like you got like feet and a half of snow in your vicinity, but besides that, it's like just clear. Cause it kind of slightly filled up your place you hid under. But most of the snow, like, yeah, there's snow in the crevices where don't get. But like,
all went down the
yeah, a lot of it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, as you see the mount, like basically most of the path we were going just basically was snow, and now like 2/3 of this path is just gravel, stone, dirt.
Quirk is going to do some rough math in his head to estimate the weight of the amount of snow that came past, just like how much was there when we were going up versus how much snow is gone now. Be like, so did I need to cast a movable object, or would the stone wall have sufficed?
Uh, Either stone or movable object. Uh, oh God, you're asking me to do math now. Fuck. Roll me insight. Why not?
Also,
Yeah, I figured just come down to that.
is immovable object an actual spell?
Yep,
It's a very amazing spell.
I will post it in a moment once I look up what my insight.
You can cast it as ninth level. It becomes permanent.
I mean, an immovable object would be clearly the thing, because I mean,
Oh, wrong part. Hold on. Put it in general. Dice roll.
Why does Lecter have that?
No, as far as I know, there aren't a whole lot of graviturgy wizards in the.
Oh,
the
that's
world.
just a graviturgy thing?
yeah, Dunamancy.
Oh, Dunaman's. Okay, now I get it, because it's basically it's stopped in time, so all kinetic energy is stopped.
Yeah. I mean, technically, this would, well, with that, yeah,
Stop it in time. Stop it in space.
yeah. It would be like if you spread it thinly enough, then wait, wait, no more
Dang
than
it,
10. Oh wait, no, more than 10 pounds.
But I cast it at 6th level, increasing the carry weight to 20,000 pounds.
Oh, fair. I'm sorry.
And increasing the DC by plus 10. So it would have been, if it was trying to go against my spell DC, it would have had to be a 30.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Okay, so that was fun. How about we speedrun it to the Cobalt Cave? Because at this point, I'm kind of worried. What other thing will happen? It's
Hey,
pretty eventful today.
hey, look at that. So, I mean, here's the thing, though. I actually gotta go, like in real life, and it's been already 3 hours. Yeah.
Aww.
Yeah. I got stuff to do.
Yeah. Okay.
He got
Still
shit
had
to
fun.
do today.
Yeah. So, with that being said and done, you're very close. You're very close. You could say you're probably gonna make it in the next few minutes of next session if you don't roll too badly. Quirk. But
I really wonder what would happen if we were spotted by the white dragon.
Oh God, we would have had a.
What can I say?
so, with that being said and done, you got exactly 20 seconds to do whatever the fuck you want before shutting this stream down with no fucking survivors.
Yeehaw! I got the head of a goat of a follower of Baphomet. Hope it does bite you.
Yes, we got a follower about and 2 dragons. in
It's
one
not.
episode.
Hey,
free Wi-Fi.
it's not a follower. It's a servant.
Servant. Head of a servant. So I basically got a free connection.
And devil.
Yeah. I basically got a free connection.